Hello, the following is a presentation on collaboration during my fieldwork intervention assignment for EDUU 677, Autism Spectrum Disorders Programming and Strategies 2, and this is Stephen Glassner. To begin with, the intervention revolves around a new 12-year-old boy who is a new student in my classroom who isn't able to sit on Zoom calls for more than about 15 seconds. The idea is that we would first introduce different social stories to the student to discuss sitting on Zoom calls, review the rules, and then setting up a visual timer to know how much time he has left. The student would be able to go from successfully sitting from 15 seconds up to 15 minutes on a Zoom call. And each Zoom call was with either other classroom staff from my classroom or a combination of both staff and students from the classroom during a group remote learning session. And which type of call the student sat on depended on the day and the time he was taking the call. So some of the collaborations I observed during my time would include myself and the student's parents and private service providers, meaning non-school service providers that he's had since the pandemic has started, as well as previous teachers in other classrooms, and collaborate with them to discuss how exactly the student handles a Zoom call. We have collaboration between myself and the student himself leading up to each Zoom call by either reading social stories or discussing the Zoom call rules that we established. We also collaborated by discussing how each call went when it was done. And then another collaboration would be myself and the student actually interacting with other classroom staff and peers. Now the student interacted with peers from the class and additional teachers actually for the first time during these Zoom calls. Up to that point, I was the only member of my classroom, staff or student, to actually get to meet this student and work with him in person. So was the collaboration effective? I would say so. Each collaborative step appeared to be effective in that it successfully served its purpose for collaboration at that step in the intervention. I would also say that collaborations can also be considered effective as they were necessary components in an intervention that was ultimately successful in its intended goal. And that is my presentation.